So today we're going to just continue on from yesterday, but focusing more on a formal practice of Yin Yoga. But essentially we're moving towards this idea this weekend of just the Taoist idea of non-action, not doing, which when you first hear about it, it just sounds like laziness. It sounds like you've given up. But when I first started reading the Tao Te Ching, I had all these things kind of clocked into place for me. So it's this idea of learning about ourselves rather than trying to understand everything, because the process of trying to understand everything is also a process of trying to control, trying to fix. And the way nature works, the way the world works, everything will keep moving and resist control. The nature of everything is to change, for everything to be born, grow, and then decay and die. And whatever you try and hold on to will generally not work out too well. So within this kind of feeling of embracing change, we slow down. So we move closer to clarity, closer to this idea of carefree wandering and moving through the world without trying to control things, without putting conditions on our happiness, things that we need to stay constant in order to be happy. And I guess we move away from being in our senses, from just relentless stimulation of our senses. You know, we understand this idea that eating is great, but when we eat too much, we become well. Having a shower is nice, but when we stay in the shower for too long, we become a prune. So whatever we do that we enjoy, we just enjoy it for the time we have it, we let it go, we allow nature to move around us freely, and we just stand in the center of the circle, allow everything to roam around us. So this is this sense of, instead of pursuing knowledge, instead of pursuing wisdom, we move towards just practicing the Tao, allowing nature to be. And it's this element of doing the same thing again and again and slowing down that brings us into balance, that makes us feel like we are connected. So we have that idea of a soft front being open and accepting, but also a strong back where we can carry people with us. So in that spirit, we're going to start a Yin Yoga practice. The true practice of not doing will only probably take about 5 shapes today. And if you have a bolster or some kind of support, it can be a rolled up towel or a pillow or a cushion. Just lay it flat along your spine. We're going to come down all the way. You might like to bring your tailbone right up to the edge of the bolster. And then just allow your body to be heavy. Take the knees out to the sides and soles of the feet flat. And you might like to experiment by bringing the heels closer to the tailbone or further away. And just get a sense for what sense of engagement this brings along the muscles on the inside of the thighs, our adductor muscles. So you might move the heels closer to the sit bones, you might shift them further away. Just allow spine to be heavy and supported through the whole length of the bolster. Take your time to get settled here. We'll be here for a few minutes. Shoulders drop either side of the support. So the spine is heavy and the shoulders are dropping down either side. Chest is open. Once you feel settled, just turn the palms up, elbows down on the ground. Fingers are slightly apart. Might scan through from the back of the head, the neck, all the way down the spine. We're looking for a strong sensation on the inside of the thighs here. So once you come into this shape, just sigh it out. You might notice how busy the mind is. See if you can bring your awareness to your breath. Breathing in through the nose. You might breathe out through the nose as well, or side out. Just take some time to see if we can align ourselves with the rhythm of our breath without trying to change it. Just follow the breath as we take the next breath in. And then as we let it go, follow the out breath. Just give your breath all the time that it needs. Each breath. It's a sense of exploring and watching, observing. You take your next breath. See if you can follow the journey of the breath around your spine, around the back. You might feel the belly expand, the ribs expand. Bring all your sensation or your attention to this feeling of oxygen moving throughout the body. Your mind draws you back to that sensation on the inside of the legs. Your mind is asking you to move. You might just try shifting the heels further away from the body, maybe closer in. All our bodies are different. Our skeleton shape is different. Our hips are different. So just find the place that draws sensation into this part of the body, into our hip joints, into our thighs. So in the Tao, it tells us that in the pursuit of knowledge, every day something is added. In the practice of the Tao, every day something is dropped. Until less and less do we need to force things until we arrive at non-action. When nothing is done, nothing is left undone. So you might just imagine yourself in this sense of allowing, accepting. So often when we try and name things, we just end up pigeonholing them, limiting them, controlling them. We can always choose to set all these concepts free when we simply allow. Let's be here for one more minute. Wherever your mind is taking you, slowly bring it back to the body. And we're just going to very slowly bring our knees back towards each other. We might take the soles of our feet to the floor and then just gently open through the hips. Maybe take the legs from side to side. Bring the elbows close to the body and just slowly press yourself up. We're going to come down completely the other direction. So take the bolster from behind the body. Bring it out to the front. Take the knees wide. You might need to take a blanket or a support under the knees if you have a hard floor. And then we're going to bring the body all the way down to the bolster. Now, we're looking for support here. So again, you want to have a strong sensation in your thighs as you come down. And then once you reach that spot of the body resting on the bolster, just slowly take the feet a little wider. So we're in kind of a frog position. It's quite an intense sensation. Just breathe into it. Again, just allow hips to sink down and body to embrace the support of the bolster beneath us. The last week or two, we've worked a lot into this wood element of our body, our liver and gallbladder meridians, our hips and shoulders, where we hold so much tension. As a species, we were hunter-gatherers for 80,000 plus years, and we've only been living in cities for the last 10,000, have only been living these days where we sit for most of the day in the last few hundred years. Our bodies are still catching up. Our nervous system still mostly relates to our hunter-gatherer past, where we're always moving, always walking. And in some ways, our hips and our bodies are not meant for how we live our lives now. So this is a strong sensation. Just breathe through it. We won't be here for too long. Allow the body to be heavy. Take your next breath. And you sigh, sink a little deeper. And whenever you're ready, bring the hands under the shoulders, slowly press up. We're going to draw the legs together, knees together, and just take the arms behind the body into a child's pose. Head is heavy. Once you arrive here, just bring the attention back to the belly, our abdominal breath. So we breathe in, expand the belly towards the thighs. Maybe a sense of rib cage expanding out. Bring our hands up under the shoulders. Slowly press ourselves up. Let's take a hold of our bolster again, and we'll bring it to the back of our spine. This time we're going to take one hip so we open it out, externally rotate it, and one hip so we internally rotate it, we turn it back in. So both legs are in kind of a 90-degree angle to each other. And you might find one of your sit bones is a little higher than the other. This is natural. You can put a blanket under if you need to. Just allow yourself to rest in this shape for a breath. And then whenever you're ready, we're going to walk our hands very slowly around and allow our body to come down over the bolster. Tuck it right into the back of the spine. Now you might bring your chest to the bolster, maybe just your shoulder. Just take a moment to find what shape works for your body and the twist of your lumbar spine. And then when you feel ready, just allow the whole body to sink into the bolster. So now we've moved into our bladder meridian, part of the water element, paired with the kidneys. This is the longest meridian line in the body. With each breath you take, just see if you can sigh out and sink a little deeper. Spine is heavy. Every time we hold one of these shapes in a Yin Yoga practice, we
Aim to relax our muscles that strengthen our joints. When our muscles are engaged, they protect our joints. So when we come into stillness in a shape like this, it's when we have an opportunity to strengthen the joints and bring stability into the body, allow energy to flow back through the channels. Maybe bringing energy to a part of our body that might have felt a little lazy, a little lethargic. Take the hands under the shoulders, press ourselves up. Again, walk the hands around to the front of the body. And then we're going to lift up the knees. Just take them out to the sides. Just allow that chi, that life force, to flow back through the body, base of the spine, through the hips. Take a breath out. Now we'll take our knees out in the other side. So one leg externally rotated, one leg internally rotated. Flex the feet. Find that kind of angle with the hips that works for you. You might get a sense where the sit bone lands on this side. Maybe it's a little different to the other. Bring the bolster right into the base of the spine. And then we'll walk the hands around. And again, you might come down on the shoulder, you might come down on the chest. Take your time, allow your body to be heavy. Let's bring our attention back to the breath, inhaling through the nose. And then side out. You might like to explore the edge of your twist here. If you're on your shoulder, maybe take it to the other side of the bolster, opening the chest. Take 3 more breaths in this shape. Take the hand under the shoulder. Press yourself up. We'll come back around to the front. Maybe take the legs out. And whenever you're ready, take the bolster out of the way. We'll come down all the way onto our backs. Draw the knees into the chest. Maybe wobble from side to side. Let's lift Hands through the legs and find a hold of your feet if you can. Draw the knees into the chest, but let's tuck the tailbone so we drop the tailbone down to the floor. Maybe your head comes down, maybe not, but keep the tailbone heavy. Side out. Done a lot of work into our hips today. Now we're going to extend our right leg long. Take it all the way out. Keep the left leg in close to the chest. Hug it in. And then we're slowly going to guide that left leg, left knee across the body. Extend the left arm wide. Shoulder is heavy. Just take all the time drawing the knee across the body. Extend the right arm out. Side out, maybe twist a little deeper. Take 2 more breaths here. Roll onto the back of the spine. Let's draw the knees into the chest, and we'll take the left leg long this time. Hug that right knee in close. And then we'll slowly take the right hand down to the mat, draw the right knee across the body. Just allow yourself to sigh out, keeping the shoulder heavy. And then extend the left arm. Should feel a strong sensation here in the hip joint. Maybe a little in the shoulder. As we take these last shapes of this Yin Yoga practice of not doing, you might just bring your attention to this idea of using stillness to find clarity, to move towards longevity. This idea that our body repairs and restores itself when we are still, when we are quiet. This is when our nervous system allows all those body mechanisms to slow down and work their magic. When our blood pressure drops, when our heart rate slows, when our body digests food and turns it into the energy we need. when our immune system switches on, all these things happen when we're still. When we're always busy, when we're always doing, maybe our body doesn't have the time to heal. So we move toward these ideas of clarity and longevity. Most of all, the idea of the carefree wandering. So we're not always looking for answers, not always trying to solve problems. Just allow ourselves to move among everybody with a sense of ease. Let's take 2 more breaths here. We slowly roll back onto the spine. Let's hug the knees in one last time. Draw them up to the chest. You might roll from side to side. Whenever you're ready, extend the legs long. Allow the feet to flop out. Arms come down by the side of the body, palms face up. Just bring your attention to the back of the head and feel it heavy into the mat. Back of the shoulders, tailbone, thighs, calves, heels. Everything sinking down, surrendering. Slowly bring attention back to the body. You might like to move fingers and toes, wrists or ankles. Maybe take the arms above the head and stretch out long, take a yawn. Whenever you're ready, roll onto the side.
Maybe press yourself up. Let's meet in a seated position. Take a moment at the end of practice today just to get a sense for how you feel right now. Scan through the body. You might find a sense of ease, a sense of release. This is just our chi moving back through these meridian lines, taking oxygen to our organs throughout our body. So even though we have entered this practice of stillness, this practice of not doing, we become more ready for what is next. This idea of blood carrying oxygen to our brain, helping us make better decisions, more realistic expectations, just preparing ourselves for whatever is next in our day, in our life, whatever to come. Let's bring our hands to heart center. Just take a moment in gratitude for our decision to return to the mat. Now let's bow in gratitude and respect to each other.